Rosh Hashanah is right around the corner, and sometimes the Jewish holidays can be really hard for someone who's gluten-free. Blends by Orly Manhattan Blend makes your challah recipe, and it comes out just delicious, fluffy, and beautiful. The trick is, with Manhattan Blend, to add 25% more water than the recipe calls for, and extra flour is going to be your best friend. But as long as you have that to assist you, you can make whatever shapes you want, and as long as you're patient and careful, you'll have a really, really good time with this. So now we are going to make our challah. I had it resting in the fridge overnight. What I did was I oiled the bottom of the bowl, which is very important because the gluten-free dough is very sticky, so we don't want it to stick to the bottom of the bowl when we take it out. So I generously coated the bottom of the bowl with oil, and I put a little bit of oil to coat the top of the dough. And now we are going to work with this dough. Take a scoop and just wipe it against the side of your bowl to even out the flat surface so that you have an even scoop. And drop it. This dough is especially pliable because it was sitting in the fridge overnight, so it's really cold. So I always prefer, when I'm using Manhattan Blend to make breads and pastries, to use cold dough. It's just a lot easier to work with, and it's a lot firmer. We are going to make a couple of challah rolls with this. So what I want to do is put a little bit of flour on top so that I have plenty of flour to work with to prevent the dough from sticking to my hands. Now when you touch the dough, you will feel that it's quite mushy, but since we have coated it with flour, we are able to play with it and roll it like so. So now that I have my ball coated with flour, I'm going to roll it into a challah. And you'll notice, unlike regular challah dough, you have to be very gentle with the gluten-free dough. If you try to pull it the way you do with regular challah dough, it'll break. So you want to be very gentle, like a baby. Roll it with both hands. And if you're gentle, you can see it will work with you. You control the dough does not control you. So now I'm going to take this rope and just make a nice little knot. And there we have a little knotted challah roll. We can also make a traditional plaited challah loaf. I'm scooping out 3 evenly sized balls of dough that we're going to use for our challah plats. Sometimes the dough gets really sticky on your hands, and you can just simply dip your hands in the oil, and it actually makes it a lot easier to work with your dough. So if you don't have flour, or you don't want to use the gluten-free flour, you can also use oil. If you use oil, the outside of the bread will probably brown more than it would if you were using flour. So now again, we're just going to dust the top with flour to prevent it from sticking to your kitchen counter at home. We're going to attach the ends, and it's much softer, so when you attach the ends, it's going to feel just like a Play-Doh. And we're going to very carefully plait the challah. We have to be careful so that it doesn't rip. As long as we're careful. And there you have it. Cute little challah roll, 3 plat. You could do it with 4 too. We use the flour to coat the table, and we use the flour to coat the top of the dough so that it made it easier to roll out and not stick to the table. So before we put these in the proofer at 75 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, we're going to put a coating of egg wash on our challah. Gluten-free bread sometimes bakes faster than regular bread, so just make sure you watch it in the oven to see if you need to take it out a little bit earlier, but you should be able to use your own recipe and come out with something that tastes equally as delicious. Even when you're egg washing these, you'll notice that the dough is a little bit softer and more tender than a regular challah dough. Our rolls have just finished proofing, rising at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So now we're going to do our second egg wash before sticking them in the oven to bake. And the second egg wash is going to form a crustier outside and a browner and shinier outside so that our rolls look really beautiful. And if you want to put, sesame seeds or poppy seeds or any sort of toppings, they'll stick better with the egg wash. Our rolls look finished. They're nice and dark brown and shiny on the outside. The way that I can tell that they're done is by touching them and feeling and hearing sort of a hollow sound. So they're definitely done. And here we have the finished product. We have a platted challah loaf and a challah roll. And you can see that the outside is dark brown and crusty, and the inside will be very soft. And you will enjoy your challah and feel like you're eating normal, delicious, fluffy, crusty challah this Rosh Hashanah. So I wish you a very healthy, happy, and sweet New Year, and a gluten-free New Year.